All righty, Bethany. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me today. Obviously, you're on your lunch break and in the car, so I won't take up too much of your time. But I wanted to talk to you and really kind of put this, a testimonial out there because you do have a somewhat of a unique situation. You came to Weighless MD. I mean, I was the first person to sit down with you, and we were kind of going through basically, why you came in and what your goals are. And so I think it would be really cool if we started with, you telling us, why did you come to Weighless MD, in the first place?
Basically, I'd just been hearing the commercials on the radio for the last 3 years or so. And I kept telling myself, this isn't working for me. I'm too heavy. My insulin levels are up so high. I'm never going to lose any weight. I need to basically have someone hold me accountable for what I eat. So that was why I decided to go.
Yes, exactly. So, and then when we spoke again for the first time, I was obviously reviewing the different programs and services that we offer. And, a lot of people come to us because they want to lose weight, of course. But as we look at all different things because it's not just about getting the weight off you, it's about really healing your body, right? Really start
Yes.
to get the body back into a normal state of health. And we had discussed our VIP3 program, which is our 3-month program. And are you 2 months in that?
Just about. Yeah. I think
program?
I'm like a week or so shy of 2 months.
Okay, very good. So you have done a number of different things. Do you want to kind of talk a little bit about how your experience has been so far?
Sure. It's been great. I watched all the videos and everything to start with when I got started with the VIP3. And for the first week or so, I had pretty much just changed my diet. I was changing my portion control. I was just basically eating the recommended amount of the recommended foods and trying to lower the carbs. And
Right.
then I started the HC2 diet for a month, and I followed that pretty accurately and ended up losing quite a bit of weight on that the first time around. So I started the second time around at the beginning of April with the second round of HC2.
Gotcha. Yeah, because I think the first week we kind of gradually just take the approach of cleaning up the diet.
Yes.
You were very open about the amount of carbohydrates and things like that
Yeah.
you were consuming. And our HC2 is one of our very structured, quicker weight loss programs. So it was a drastic change for you. So
Yes.
I guess, talk a little bit about that because, a lot of people are in that same boat. They are very nervous about going from eating, what they're used to for so long and then now going on, the structured plan. So
Yeah.
talk a little bit about that whole experience.
The first 3 or 4 days was probably pretty hard. Ended up going to bed early a lot of nights just because I didn't want to think about food anymore and didn't want to be tempted to eat. So, but that didn't last long. Once I was on the supplements for, a little less than a week, I started to feel fuller. I couldn't eat as much. And then I found that it was even difficult to eat the amount of recommended vegetables at night with dinner. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I got used to it. My body got used to it, and I didn't crave the sugar. I didn't crave the carbs. I didn't crave the salt so much. It was a lot better. I just felt a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. And that's, it's so typical for the body to kind of go through that adjustment period. And I tell people all the time, even though we do put you on it's a lower calorie, low calorie diet, but what we do with the supplements is really get your body to use that abnormal fat for the remaining calories. So
Yeah.
even though you're eating less, you experience what you're supposed to experience. And that is, the hunger, you should have the satiety. You should not feel like worn out and things like that. So
Right.
I'm glad that you've, experienced that. I mean, and you then did another round of that. So are you getting towards the end of your second round of the HC2 then?
Yes, I believe I have about a week and a half left on it.
Okay, gotcha. And then we'll obviously be transitioning you off of that and getting you back into like normal eating,
Right.
incorporating those foods that you probably, want to add back in.
Yes.
Yeah. And, so along with the weight loss that, that really has been successful for you, we also focused a lot on your gut issues. And, we did the GI map and really identified some things there. So how has that gone for you?
It's gone a lot better. I started all of the supplements pretty much right after I met with the GI specialist, and she had recommended certain things, and I pretty much got all of them. The only thing I didn't need was the digestive enzyme one, because my meals on the HC2 are not big enough really to warrant that yet. So as we start adding the foods back in, then I would take that.
Gotcha.
But the GastroMend for sure has really helped. I just got another refill of that. So I am not having the issues that I was having before. With the looseness and things like that, it's gotten much better. So.
Okay, excellent. And we really have to talk about a little bit about your diabetes. So I think I'm going off of memory, but you were diagnosed with type 1 diabetes as young, earlier in your life. Is that right?
No, I was almost 30. So it's been probably about 14 years or so.
Okay, so it was type 1, and then
yes,
that kind of turned into a diagnosis of type 2. Was
yes.
that okay?
Yeah, I was extremely skinny as a young person. So they had tested my brother was diagnosed with it at 30 and a half, and he's older than me. So my mom had told me the signs of because diabetes didn't run in our family that we knew of. So he was diagnosed after being put in the hospital with ketoacidosis. So knowing what the signs were, when I started to be drinking a lot of water about 2.5 years later, and I was always hungry and eating and not gaining any weight at all, I knew that there was something wrong. So I made an appointment with my doctor, and when they tested my urine, there was sugar in my urine. And they went through a round of testing and everything, and they discovered I was type 1 diabetic. And then I was type 1 probably for about maybe 4 or 5 years before the insulin resistance started to kick in. I was taking normal amounts of insulin for all that time. And then all of a sudden it was taking me more and more insulin to cover the amounts of what I was eating. And around that time, my mom had passed away. So I was really doing a lot of eating for comfort.
Gotcha.
And not really taking care of myself the way that I should. And basically it just evolved into this problem.
Right. The cycle, and then trying to figure out, the insulin, the eating, and kind of just keeping you in that managing a sick state, basically.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you have significantly reduced your insulin so far. How much have you gone down on that?
The long-acting insulin, I've basically cut in half. I was taking 35 in the morning and about 30 to 35 at night. And now I don't take any at night at all. I just take 35 in the morning. And then I was taking about between 120 to 150 units of the fast-acting insulin with each meal. But that has been reduced to probably about 35 to 40 units a day. So it's gone down quite a bit.
Yeah, that is so cool. That's hopefully we can get you off entirely. Again, it kind of goes back to is your body producing any on its own?
Right.
Do you know if you're producing any on your own?
I am told that I'm not.
Okay.
there was a honeymoon period when I was first diagnosed in there that it was producing a little bit of insulin, but I think that only lasted maybe a year, and then it was not producing any anymore.
Okay, gotcha. And then your blood sugars, what are your blood sugars averaging right now?
They're averaging right now probably between 120 and 170, depending on what I have to eat. So
Gotcha.
it's mainly, I'd say between 100 and 150 most of the time.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so things are moving in the right direction for sure.
Yes.
And you know, we'll just talk a little bit about your results and kind of like what you're thinking and planning for as you finish up the VIP, which again is 3 months. So you have about a month left. And so far, am I correct? You've lost 22 pounds, like close to that?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And do you have like a target goal? What's kind of your plan?
My plan is to get down to 125 if I can, 130 if that's not, 130, 135 if that's not attainable, but hopefully 125.
Gotcha. Very cool. So is there anything else you want to add before we just we wrap up?
No, I think that about covers it. I feel a lot better and I have a lot more energy than I used to have.
Yeah, and we'll have to keep assessing where this all goes, because I'm obviously thinking, okay, we don't know yet if you're producing some insulin. So let's see if we could ultimately, get you off of that. We'll see.
Okay.
Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you so much, Sherry.
Okay, talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.